I'm just not going to bed yet. Um, the funniest thing happened today. My son and I, he knows that I have certain weekends where I need to recharge. Usually, him and I do a ton of stuff. We do homeschool stuff. We do a lot of music. He has his guitar lessons. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on the weekend. Where most people rest is I get even more busy. But today I was feeling like I just really needed a rest, and I told my son I'm going to be in my room. I need to rest for a little bit after we were done doing a bunch of stuff. But I just said I just need, and so he's very good about that. He's 13, so he's a teenager. He's doing other stuff, but every now and then he likes to come in my bed still. It's really fun, and just have these talks with me. Now he's still he's a regular kid again. He's 13. He's a goofball, but he also has these moments. I think if you're a parent of a teen, where your teen has moments that impress you, moments that they seem extremely mature and amazing. Okay, so we had one of those moments today, and I want to share it with you. It's not so much about him, but it has to do with the rapture and with God and everything. So he came into my room, and when I really didn't want him to, but I can't ever turn him away. It's just hard to do that. So he sat on my bed, and he was talking about Easter tomorrow and what we're going to do. And I'm like, you know what, honey? I don't do plastic holidays. It's just another day. Every day I live and celebrate the resurrection and the death of Christ. I really do. I mean, especially since 2013, since he made me rapture centric. I mean, Christmas, none of that. None of these things mean anything anymore. In fact, I threw away everything. I used to have so much Christmas stuff. I got rid of all of it. No more Easter Bunny stuff, nothing. It's just another day that I hope the Lord comes. And, but my son was being different. He came in my bed and wanted to talk about what we were going to do. And I'm like, well, I mean, honey, not to be rude, it's just another day. Okay. And he was like, Mom. And I'm like, well, it is. To me, it feels weird to act like it's special when every day with the Lord is special. So it just feels weird to me. I mean, I love him every day. I respect him every day. But we can do something if you want. He's like, okay, well, maybe we can watch a movie or, and I'm like, okay, like a God movie he meant. I'm like, okay, we'll watch The Passion of the Christ because I own it, the Mel Gibson movie. And he's like, but Mom. And he started giving me his huge critique on the movie. It's too bloody. And he was giving me really intelligent, articulate reviews that he had of it because he watched it once and couldn't look half the time because it was so bloody. And I appreciated it, but I had to respectfully disagree with him. And but he kept challenging me, and I kept going back at it. And normally, as a parent, you don't do that. You're like, it's a teenager. I'm not going to win. I don't want to win, and I'm tired. But it was the Lord in me, and I want to share it with you. And he said, Mom, I mean, what's the need? What is the need for all that blood and violence? And I just got really choked up. It caught me off guard. I started weeping. I said, do you know what he went through? Nobody knows. It was horrible. And I'm crying right now. And I said, and he was like, okay, Mom. I go, no, honey, you don't get it. You really don't. Because you're too young to have been through life experiences where you've been in pain and you've hurt and God has healed you and God has mended you and made you well. I've been there and I appreciate what he did so much, and none of the healing in my life and none of the wholeness and none of the joy would be there if Jesus didn't suffer greatly. He was completely innocent, and he took up all of the sin, my sin of the world, and he allowed himself to be so brutally beaten, and he died the most torturous death. Those crown of thorns, I've seen commentaries on how much it hurt. Okay, it is the most painful way to die. And I said, honey, you just haven't had enough life experience to really need God. You've had a good life. And, you haven't been on your face begging him to take away your emotional pain or begging him to make you want to live. And, you just, honey, believe me, if we're here and you ever have some time where you really need Jesus, and it doesn't have to be pain. It could be you want him to help you be successful, but you really need him to come through for you, and he does. You'll appreciate him more, okay? And that's all I have to say. And he was like, okay, yeah, can we watch it again? And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, I want to watch it again. So I convinced him, but we talked for like an hour. I'm just summarizing it for you. He went on and on. I mean, he was challenging me. And then, like, after a while, I broke out in tears. I didn't break out in tears in the beginning. I broke out later on, but it was totally unexpected. Like, I have tears right now. It was so unexpected the way it came out. But I realized, I have so much passion for what God has done for me. He has been so sweet to me and healed me. And I shouldn't be normal. I shouldn't be normal. I grew up just stuffing every emotion I ever had because of growing up at a very young age, neglect and all kinds of abuse and things, and you would never know it because of how God has put me together, but you do. You'll know, it because I tell you, and He leaves marks of that where I can feel it, so that I never forget where I came from, and I'm glad. I just can't wait to be free from it. I can't wait till we get raptured out of here. But I'm telling you, my son is very stubborn when it comes to, he's a movie critic. He really is a movie and video game critic, and he writes whole papers on it for school. And so he was not relenting in the Passion for the Christ thing, like trying to convince me that it was way too gory, way too bloody, they used way too much artistic license. They went way far away from scripture, blah, blah, blah. And it was like I couldn't let him win because I felt he was wrong. I said, no, this movie shows how bad it was. And, I don't want to watch a flowery Easter movie. I want you to know how much he suffered for what you have today. This is why you have a good mom, because of what he did. And believe me, I would have had no ability to be a good mom if it wasn't for God. And this is why I can show love and love others, because of what he suffered. And I said, do you have any idea? And my son was like, no. And then I told him, I said, and what he told me about the rapture is what he's about to do is harder than the cross. The rapture event is harder than the cross. And I've made videos on this, but I'll just say it really quick. It's harder than the cross, because the rapture event is going to kick off the judgment, the great tribulation, where many will die. Most will be saved, but that still leaves a lot that are going to die. And if just one sheep is killed, he's so sad if he loses just one, but he's going to lose a lot on a large scale. And he told me, sitting in my car one day in 2013, he said, this is harder than the cross. Can you sit with me in the garden of my sorrow? And what gives him the ability to do it is the joy set before him. Who's that? It's us, the rapture bride. So the rapture is what's giving him, that's the joy set before him, the ability to enact the greatest judgment the world has ever seen. And that is the great tribulation. He's ending this world. He's ending it, guys. He's ending it. I'm not one of those crazy people that holding up a sign that I used to think were crazy that would say the end is near, but I am now. I am. The end is near. I'm not out there holding up a sign. He didn't tell me to, but he did have me do it in 2013 with my son. We did hold up a sign. But now I'm just holding up, a virtual sign, electronic sign. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Be ready. Enjoy your Easter with the Lord. It could be your last Easter and on this earth. And I'm going to watch The Passion with my son, and he's actually into it. And by the time we were done talking, a little tear came down his face, and he held my hand, and he said, I'm sorry, Mom, all that he had to go through. It was really precious. It was just one little tear, but it was very precious. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. He's coming, and be excited, and enjoy your Easter if we're here, okay? Because the Lord came to give you a good life too while you're here. It's hard to have a good life when we're so rapture-centric, but we can do it. We can appreciate the good things.